Hello, welcome to this video. Lily de Silva, lesson 14, and we go through the English to Pali exercises. So, sentence number 1. Having learnt the Dhamma from the Buddha, I will live righteously in the world. Let me give you my iPad. Here we are. So, he lives, jivati, he will live, jivissati, I will live, jivissami. We have this common is between the root and the ending to represent the future, to indicate the future. So, jivissami, I will live. I will live in the world. Loke jivissami. Righteously, the most common way of saying that is dhammena, literally by the Dhamma. So I will live righteously in the world. Is dhammena loke jivissami. Having learnt the Dhamma from the Buddha, so from the Buddha, the Dhamma having learnt. Buddha, an ablative, one of the forms of the ablative, buddhamha. We could also have buddhasma or buddha. Dhammam ugganhitva, having learnt. Ugganhitva, let me explain this word for you. It's actually from, in Sanskrit, it's udgrih, the root grih, meaning to take, or grah, and have the vocalic r or the ra, grih or grah. Also, grab is the alternative form, which of course is the same word as our English grab, with the b softened to a h, so udgrih. It's a class 9 verb, so he takes is grihnati, not grihati, but grihnati. So it's a regular class 9 verb, grihnati. In Pali, of course, we don't have a ri, so it becomes another vowel. In this particular case, it becomes an a. And we very often find that where we have in Sanskrit a h plus a liquid vowel, like an n as here, they swap positions. So instead of hana, we get n, h, which is why in Pali we get ganhati. Then, so ud, literally to take up, udgrihnati, he takes up, is one of the ways of saying he learns. So in Pali that becomes, so udgrihnati becomes in Pali ugganhati. In Sanskrit we would form the absolutive directly from the root. The root grih is slightly irregular, actually, in that you don't say grihatva or grihitva, but grihitva. It lengthens the e, and I'm not sure if there are any other verbs that do that, but this one does, a little bit irregular. So grihitva. In Pali, we can form the absolutive from the present stem, which is why we have ugganhitva. So ugganhati, ugganhitva. So that explains this somewhat anomalous looking form, ugganhitva. So having learnt the Dhamma, dhammam ugganhitva, having learned the Dhamma from the Buddha, buddhamha or buddha or buddhasma, dhammam ugganhitva, I will live righteously in the world. Dhammena loke jivissami. And in the key, aham is put at the beginning. As you know by now, that's pretty much optional. It doesn't actually alter the meaning of the sentence. Might as well put it in. So, aham buddham ha dhammam ugganhitva dhammena loke jivisami. One other reason for putting the aham there, even though it's not strictly necessary, because you've got the verb at the end, jivisami, indicating that it's I who will be doing it. Where you have, so to speak, to wait quite a long time to get to the verb at the very end of the sentence, to saying who it is that's doing it, you can, as it were, tell your listener in advance that it's going to be me by putting aham. And very often you see when somebody's making a great pronouncement about his course in life, what I'm going to do, henceforth I will act in this way. Very often the aham comes almost emphatically towards the beginning of the sentence. So I'll say it again. Aham buddham ha dhammam ugganhitva dhammena loke jivisami. So now to sentence number 2. I will advise the king to rule the island righteously with his ministers. So again, in the key, we've seen good style here. The sentence begins with aham and finishes with uvadisami, I will advise. So I will advise the king, bhupalam uvadisami. I will advise the king to rule the island. So the island to rule the king, I will advise. Deepam paletum bhupalam uvadisami. Righteously again, dhammena. So to say, I will advise the king to rule the island righteously with his ministers, you would say, I, with the ministers, righteously, the island to rule the king will advise. Aham amache saddhim dhammena deepam paletum bhupalam uvadisami. You could put the bhupalam much earlier in the sentence. It would still be perfectly good Pali to say, aham bhupalam amache saddhim dhammena deepam paletum uvadisami. Both equally correct. I'll say it once more in the alternative form. Aham bhupalam amache saddhim dhammena deepam paletum uvadisami. Sentence number 3. The English says, keeping the garment on the seat, the child will enter the water to bathe. The key has tapetva, which translates keeping. So, sorry, on to question 3 now. Tapetva, let's just look at that. That's the one that translates keeping. Tapetva, it's actually from the root sta, to stand, and the causative form in Sanskrit is tapayati, literally to stand or to make to stand. It often just means to install something or just to put something, put. And in Pali, that makes tapeti. Note the short tapeti. So it just means putting the garment, or having put the garment on the seat. The seat is asana, as in the yoga asana, a sitting or a seat. It can mean the act of sitting, or the way of sitting as in a posture, a yoga posture, or the thing on which you sit, the seat. So asanam hi, locative, asanam hi, sartakam tapetva, having put his garment, his clothes on a seat. The boy or the child will enter the water to bathe. When you're going into the water, the verb that is most commonly used is utarati. And that o is, in Sanskrit, is the ava, softened, usually softened to o in Pali. That's the prefix. So avatarati. literally to cross down. That's the word commonly used to enter water, go into the water. Because avatarity, in English we have the word avatar, a being who crosses down from the higher realms to the human realm. So, utarati, he crosses. Utarissati, he will go down, he will enter the water. So, udakam utarissati, he will enter the water. The boy will enter the water to bathe. The boy to bathe, the water will enter. Kumaro nahayitum udakam utarissati. So, putting his clothes on the chair, the boy will just get into the bath to have a bath, will get into the water to have a bath. Asanam hi sartakam tapetva kumaro nahayitum udakam utarissati. Number 4. Having heard the doctrine, you, plural, will become pleased with the Tathagata. So again, you can start the sentence with the pronoun you, plural, tumhe. So having heard the Dhamma, that's Dhammam Suttva, that's a formed regular. Oops, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh. Here we are, back again. So, root shru, to hear, in Sanskrit, heard, regular past participle, shruta, evam maya shrutam, Pali evam me sutam or evam maya sutam. Absolutive is shrutva. So equal in Pali we have sutta and sutva. So having heard the Dhamma is Dhammang Suttva. If you're pleased with something, it says pasidati, and it normally takes the locative. So if you are pleased with the Tathagata, Tathagate pasidati, you will be pleased, so it will be pasid, make for the future infix, pasidissata, you, plural, will be pleased. So Tathagate pasidissata. So having heard the Dhamma, you will be pleased with the Tathagata. Tumhe Dhammang Suttva Tathagate pasidissata. Number 5, they who are walking in the forest collecting fruits will desire to drink water. Now, in English, we have got they who. In Pali, all you need to do is to use the present participle in the plural, of course, the walker, just the walking in the forest, which means that they who are walking in the forest. And so that is Aranye Charanta, Aranya forest, Charati, he walks, Charanta, Charanto, plural Charanta. So the people who are walking in the forest is Aranye Charanta. Picking fruits. So to pick fruits, one word for that is Sangharati. So the people who are picking fruits is the fruit picking. So Palani Sangharanta, Aranye Charanta. In the key, the word te is inserted, meaning they, but it's actually not necessary. They will want to drink water. Te, water to drink, will want. So, ichisanti, ichati, he, she, it wants. Ichisanti, they will want. Patum, ichisanti, they will want to drink. They will want to drink water. Paniyam patum ichisanti. So the entire sentence now. They who are walking in the forest collecting fruits will desire to drink water. Palani sangharanta aranecharanta te paniam patum ichisanti. Number 6. Farmers approaching the city will look at vehicles running on the road. So farmers approaching the city, again here use the present participle, and it'll be the masculine nominative masculine plural. So upasankamanta, so nagaram upasankamanta, approaching the city. The farmers who are approaching the city would be city approaching farmers. So nagaram upasankamanta kasaka will see passati, he she it sees passisanti. 6, so we're on to 6 now. Passati, passisati, and of course for the plural then it becomes passisanti. They will see vehicles, chariots, rate, accusative plural. They will see chariots, rate passisanti. They will see chariots running, so dhavati, it runs. So the running chariots will be dhavanta rata. They will see the chariots running, will be dhavante rate passisanti. They will see chariots running on the road. Magge dhavante, on the road running chariots. They will see magge dhavante rate passisanti. So the entire sentence, translating it literally word by word, the city approaching farmers, on the road running chariots will see. So in Pali, nagaram upasankamanta kasaka magge dhavante rate passisanti. Number 7. The rising sun will illuminate the world. So ubhasati in Sanskrit, avabhasati, literally will downlight, cast its light down. Ubhasati, sorry, ubhaseti, and the future will be ubhasesati. Ubhaseti, ubhasesati, will illuminate the world. Lokam ubhasesati. The rising sun, we have the word udaya, it's a noun, arising. It rises is udeti, and the present participle is udento, rising. So the udento suryo, the rising sun, lokam ubhasesati. I'll say the entire sentence again then. Udento suryo lokam ubhasesati. Number 8. The trees in the park will bathe in the light of the moon. So, in the park, trees of the moon by the light will bathe. So, nahayati, to bathe. He, she, it will bathe is nahayisati. So the future, and the third person plural future is nahayisanti. So they will bathe. by the light of the moon. So chanda, the moon, chandasa aloko, the light of the moon, by the light of the moon, chandasa alokena. So they will bathe in the light or by the light of the moon, chandasa alokena nahayisanti. And the trees in the park, that's clear enough. Uyana is a park, uyane rukha. So I'll read the whole sentence again. Uyane rukha chandasa alokena nahayasanti. Number 9, you singular will be pleased seeing your sons asking questions from the wise man. So you will be pleased. We've just had a pasidati, so you will be pleased. Tuam pasidissasi. Right. Pasidati, pasidasi, future, pasidissasi. So you will be pleased, having seen your sons. When you're talking about family relationships here, he saw his father, he loves his mother, all that kind of thing. You often don't need to put the to specify my or your, his. If you're talking about a direct relationship, you often can leave that out. So seeing his sons, in Pali you can just say seeing sons, so that there's the implication it will be his sons unless specified otherwise. So having seen his sons, or seeing his sons, would be then putte disva. Seeing his sons asking questions. Panya is a question, so panye puchante. He asks questions. Panye puchati. Asking questions. Panye puchanto. Plural, people who are asking questions. Panye puchanta. In the accusative, seeing his sons asking questions. Panye puchante putte disva pasidissasi. And asking the wise man questions. In English we say ask the wise man questions. In Pali the wise man goes in the ablative, literally asking questions from the wise man. So panditam ha. Panditam ha panye puchante putte disva tvam pasidissasi. I'll say it once more. Panditam ha panye puchante putte disva tvam pasidissasi. Number 10. The children will like to see the parrots eating fruits on the trees. So actually will like to see, you could say will want to see. Daraka, the children, will like to see or will want to see. Passitum ichisanti. Ichati, he wants. Ichanti, they want. Ichisanti, they will want. They will want to see. Passitum ichisanti. They will want to see the parrots. Suke passitum ichisanti. They will want to see the parrots eating fruit. So kadati, going to have the present participle, but in the accusative nominative, masculine accusative plural. So it would be kadante, eating fruits, palani kadante. So in the accusative, so in the nominative, the parrots who are eating fruits would be palani kadanta suka, but in the accusative, palani kadante suke. And where are they doing it? In the trees, locative plural, rukesu. So rukesu palani kadante suke. So the children, the entire sentence, the children will like to see or will want to see the parrots eating fruits on the trees. It goes, in the trees, the children in the trees, fruit eating parrots to see will want. Which goes in Pali, Daraka Rukhesu Palani Kadante Suke Passitum Ichissanti. Sentence 11. We are doctors coming from the island. You are teachers going to the island. So we are doctors. Mayam Vedja Homa Ubhavama. In Sanskrit, Bhavamaha. And in Pali, you can have Bhavama or just the lenited or softened form Homa. So Mayam Vedja Homa or Vedja Bhavama. We are doctors coming from the island. Present participle, masculine nominative, plural form. Agachanta, coming from the island. Deepamha agachanta. So we are doctors coming from the island. Mayam Deepamha agachanta Vedja Homa or Bhavama. And you are teachers going to the island. So in Pali, for you are, plural, you can have either bhavata or huta. There we are. So you are teachers. Tumhe acharya hota or bhavata. You are teachers going to the island. Tumhe deepam gachanta acharya hota. I'll say the whole thing in Pali now. Mayam deepamha agachanta vejja homa. Tumhe deepam gachanta acharya hota. 12. He will take money and go to the shop to buy goods. So you'd say he will do something and then do something else. You'd say in Pali, having done the first thing, he will do the second thing. So he, having taken money, so moolam, it's one word for money, it literally means a root. The idea is the root of your capital. So the word is used for money, moolam. So moolam adaya, having taken money, or moolam gehetva. Remember in Sanskrit, we had it a few sentences back. Having taken is grihitva, in Pali gehetva. You could also have gehitva or gehitva. Either will do. So moolam adaya or moolam gehitva. He will go to the shop. Is apanam gamissati. Note for the future, he goes gachati, but make the future from the root, not the present simple. So you wouldn't say gachisati, you say gamissati. So apanam gamissati, he will go to the shop. To do what? To buy goods. Kinitum is to buy. Mandani kinitum, to buy goods. Apanam gamissati, he will go to the shop. This kinitum, it's the Sanskrit root is kri, 9th class, so krinati, Pali, kinati. To buy, the infinitive, he will go there to buy, mean in order to buy. In Sanskrit, it would just be kritum, putting the tum directly onto the root. In Pali, you can shorten the e as well. So kinitum, making the why have the word left my mind? Infinitive, making the infinitive from the present sim. Kinitum. So Bhandani kinitum, in order to buy goods, apanam gamissati, he will go to the shop. So the entire sentence now, he will take money and go to the shop to buy goods. You say he, having taken money to buy goods to the shop, will go. So in Pali, su moolam adaya, or moolam gehetvaya, Bhandani kinitum apanam gamissati. Number 13. Having filled the bowl with drinking water, the child will give it to the beggar eating rice. Or in more natural English, the child will fill the bowl with drinking water and give it to the beggar who is eating rice. So, having filled the bowl with drinking water. So, pattam is the bowl. Pura is full. Pureti is to fill, to make full. So, pattam puretva. Pureti, he fills. Absolutive puretva. So, pattam puretva, having filled the bowl with water, specifically drinking water. Paniyena pattam puretva, having filled the bowl with drinking water. He will give dasati. In Sanskrit, that would be dasyati, regular, from root da, Sanskrit dasyati. Remember what's the double S in Pali? Dasyati is a sya in there's a sya or ishya in Sanskrit. So dasyati becomes dasati. He will give. He will give to the beggar. The yachaka is a beggar. Use the genitive, dative, yachakassa dasati. The beggar who is eating rice, to the rice-eating beggar. That is the odanam bhunjantassa. Bhunjati, he eats odanam bhunjati. He eats rice. The person who is eating rice is odanam bhunjanto. And here in the genitive dative, odanam bhunjantassa, yachakassa, dasati. So let's do the entire sentence. The child, with water the bowl having filled, to the rice-eating beggar will give. Darko paniyena pattam puritva odanam bhunjantassa yachakassa dasati. Number 14. Men wishing to get merit will plant trees for people in the world. So to plant is rupeti. Rupeti. He will plant rupissati. So eti becomes essati. And so they will plant is rupissanti. So they will plant trees. Ruke rupissanti. They will plant trees for people. We use the genitive dative there. Manusanam ruke rupissanti. For people in the world. Loke. Manusanam. So, to desire to do something, or to aspire, is akankati. Akankati. and aspiring or wishing, the present participle can be akankanta or akankamana, with no distinction of meaning. So desiring to get merit. Punyam labhitum akankanta. So merit to obtain, desiring. Again, punyam labhitum akankanta. Men desiring, or people desiring to get merit. Punyam labhitum akankanta manusa. Will plant trees for people in the world. Loke manusanam ruke rupesanti. I'll say the whole sentence now. Punyam labhitum akankanta manusa loke manusanam ruke rupesanti. Number 15. Searching for wealth. Wicked men will oppress farmers living righteously in villages. So they will oppress. Is the Sanskrit word pida, meaning pain, in the sense of physical pain. And as often happens, where you get an intervocalic d, that's a subdotted d with a vowel on each side, that often becomes a subdotted L in Pali. So it's pila, like a retroflex back flap L, pila, pila. Now, to cause pain or to oppress, you just make a causative verb from that. So pileti, pileti, he, she, it oppresses. They will oppress is pilesanti. So they will oppress farmers. Kasake pilesanti. Farmers living righteously. So jivati, he, she, it lives. Jivanta, living. We want the masculine accusative plural, so it's jivante kasake, farmers who are living. Farmers who are living righteously is put in the accusative plural. Dhammena jivante kasake. So they will oppress the farmers who are living righteously. Dhammena jivante kasake pilesanti. So where are they living? Gamesu. Gamesu dhammena jivante kasake pilesanti. So the evil people, what do they call it here? Wicked men, yes. Literally the ungood men. It's sapurisa, person, sapurisa, good person. Asapurisa, literally an ungood person, a wicked person. So pariesati, to be in search of something. Pariesati. So the present participle pariesanta. So wicked people in search of wealth. So dhanam pariesanta asapurisa. The whole sentence now. Wicked people in search of wealth will oppress farmers living righteously in the villages. Dhanam pariesanta asapurisa. Gamesu dhammena jivante kasake pilesanti. Number 16. There are fruits on the trees in the mountains. Okay. So fruits, singular palam, plural palani, neuter plural palani bhavanti. There are fruits on the trees. Rukesu, locative plural, rukesu palani bhavanti. And in the mountains, babbatesu rukesu palani bhavanti. So the whole sentence again. Babbatesu rukesu phalani bhavanti. 17. Good men doing meritorious deeds will learn the Dhamma from monks. So a meritorious deed, kamma, an action, meritorious or good deed, good actions is a kusala kamma. You can say, separate the words, you could have kusalani, kammani, or you can run them together into a compound, so it becomes kusala kammani. So doing good deeds, the he, she, it does is karoti, and the present participle karonta. So good men doing meritorious deeds, good deeds, is sappurisa. In the previous one we had the asappurisa, ungood men. This is sappurisa. Kusala kamani karonta will learn the Dhamma from the monks. So ugganhissanti, we had before ugganhitva, ugganhati, ugganhitva. Now the future ugganhissati, and in the plural ugganhissanti. So they will learn the Dhamma, dhammam ugganhissanti. From the monks, the Dhamma they will learn. Samanehi, it's the ablative there. Samanehi dhammam ugganhissanti. Now the whole sentence, good men doing meritorious deeds will learn the Dhamma from monks. Sappurisa kusala kammani kuronta samanehi dhammam ugganhissanti. 18. Wise men instruct kings governing the islands. So, wise men instruct. Pandita anusasanti. Wise men instruct kings. Pandita bhupale anusasanti. So, governing the islands, he governs an island as Deepam paleti. A person governing an island using the present participle is Deepam palenta, palento in the nominative. Now this is the accusative plural because it's the kings, they are instructing the kings governing the islands. Dipe palente bhupale anusasanti. So the whole sentence now, wise men instruct kings governing the islands. Pandita dipe palente bhupale anusasanti. 19. You will buy fish from fishermen coming from the sea. So you will buy, he will buy, he, she, it will buy is kinissati. You will buy kinissata. Kinissati and kinissata. You, plural, will buy. So you will buy fish. Tumhe mache kinissata. So you will buy fish from whom? From the fisherman. Now, dhivara, a fisherman. Ablative plural from the fisherman. Dhivara, dhivarehi. So you will buy fish from the fisherman. Dhivarehi mache kinissata. So from the fisherman coming from the sea is from the sea coming fisherman, all of that in the ablative. So samudamha, from the sea, agachantehi divarehi, from the fishermen who are coming from the sea. So from the sea, samudamha, ablative singular. From the fishermen who are coming is agachantehi divarehi. So you will buy fish from the fishermen who are coming from the sea is samudamha agachantehi dhivarehi tumhe mache kinissata. Number 20. Wishing to learn the Dhamma, we approach the Buddha. So wishing here, we can use the verb akankati. In sentence 14, we had in the case akankanta, and I said you can equally say akankamana. So here in the key, it's got akankamana, wishing. So wishing to learn the Dhamma, Dhammam ugganhitum akankamana, we approach the Buddha. So to approach is upasankamati, kamati to step, sankamati to step up to, upasankamati, more like the idea of approaching and stopping when you get there, upasankamati. And it takes the direct object, the accusative of the object. So buddham upasankamama, we approach. So mayam, we, in order to learn, wishing to learn the Dhamma, Dhammam ugganhitum akankamana, approach the Buddha, buddham upasankamama. I'll say the whole sentence now. Mayan dhammam ugganhitum akankamana, buddham upasankamama. 21. Seeing the jackal coming to the park, the children will get frightened. So, to be frightened, to get frightened, is bhayati. He will be frightened is bhayisati. They will be frightened, bhayisanti. The children will be frightened, daraka bhayisanti. Sigala is a jackal. It's actually Shrigala in Sanskrit. It's from that same root that our English word jackal comes. Shrigala, jackal. So Sigala. Seeing the jackal, Sigalam disva. Seeing the jackal, literally having seen the jackal, the children will be frightened. So Sigalam disva, daraka bhayisanti. So coming to the park, so seeing the jackal coming to the park, so we're going to have the present participle in the masculine singular accusative form, and uyanam, of course, also in the accusative, because coming to the park, accusative of motion. So uyanam, having seen the to the park coming jackal, so uyanam agachantam sigalam disva, the children will be frightened, daraka bhaisanti. Now the whole sentence. Uyanam agachantam sigalam disva, daraka bhaisanti. 22. They will go to see the king coming to the village with the ministers. So you'd say that with the ministers, village coming, king to see, they will go. So they will go. Gamissanti or te gamissanti. They will go to do what? To see passitum gamissanti. To see whom? To see the king. Bhupalam passitum gamissanti. To see the king doing what? Coming to the village. Gamam agachantam bhupalam passitum gamissanti. And with whom? With the ministers. Amachehi saha. So with the ministers to the village coming king to see, they will go. All in Pali now. Amachehi saha gamam agachantam bhupalam passitum te gamissanti. Number 23. You are a good man who lives righteously. So hosi could be bhavasi or hosi. No distinction of meaning. So you're a good man. Sappuriso hosi. Tvam sappuriso hosi. You are a good man living by the Dhamma. Tuam dhammena jivanto, present participle, nominative, masculine nominative, to agree with Sappuriso, you are a good man. So the whole sentence now, Tuam dhammena jivanto Sappuriso hosi. Number 24, I see a parrot picking a fruit with its beak. So picking is ochinanto. I see a parrot. Suvam pasami. I see a parrot picking fruit. So palam ochinantam. Suvam pasami. With its beak. Tunda is a beak. So tundena with the beak. I with the beak, fruit picking parrot see. So aham tundena palam ochinantam suvam pasami. And again. Aham tundena palam ochinantam suvam pasami. Number 25. We will become good men practicing virtue. The idea is good men who practice virtue. So silam rakkanta. Silam rakkati, literally he protects virtue, as he practices virtue, he lives virtuously. People who practice virtue is silam rakkanta. We are is bhavama. We will be is bhavissama. We will be good people. Sappurisa bhavissama. We, virtue practicing good people, will be Mayam silam rakkanta sappurisa bhavissama. I'll say the whole sentence once more now. Mayam silam rakkanta sappurisa bhavissama. And that concludes the English to Pali of lesson 14.